Happy Friday. Come on, it's a good day. It's a beautiful day, actually. And I just really have just been thinking a lot about our conversations about relationship over the week and loving the interaction and the feedback. And, I loved your comment yesterday, Shannon, but it brings up a very painful issue is when we are facing hopeless relationships, their hopelessness in relationship. What do we do at that point? What do we do when and this is the nature of hopelessness. It's when, good morning, Dan, when where we know the relationship needs to be is in stark contrast, and there's it seems like an unbridgeable gap from where it is right now. Hey there, Gary. So in other words, hopelessness lies in the gap between what we know the relationship should be and where it is right now. And this is the big part, our feeling about that, right? We're aware of it on a feeling level. We're painful. Now, there's a hopelessness is like, I don't care. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the painful hopelessness in a relationship. And so you actually can't be hopeless unless you have a view of what the relationship should be, a high view of like, oh my gosh, we're made to walk together. We're made to walk in hope. We're made to walk in vision. Hey there, Natasha. We're made for so much more. Hey, Christine. And so when we're feeling utterly hopeless, it's actually because we know there's more. I mentioned this, I think, earlier this week. I was talking to someone, and they were really hopeless in their marriage. And I looked at them, I said, you right now have the best marriage of anybody in your family line. Nobody's had a marriage relationship. But what it is you want more. There's the problem. You want more. And what happens is you couldn't want more unless God showed you the more that's available. You couldn't desire more in the relationship unless God showed you the more that he has for you in it. So, but what the devil does is the devil takes the promise of God for more and flips it around to focus on the gap between where you are in this relationship now and where God wants to take it. And, and that's what's going on. That painful hopelessness is that recognition of, oh my gosh, we can't keep doing things the way we're doing. There's got to be more. There's got to be more. Jesus put it a little bit differently. He said, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness will be filled. Right relationship with God, right relationship with one another, the right things he has for us. The hunger is actually an empty vessel that God can now fill, God can speak into. Because until we were feeling the pain, the hopelessness of it, we're just going to keep doing the same thing we've been doing, right? We're not going to change. So what do we do when we feel the hopelessness? First thing, don't kill it. Don't. This is the thing the Lord's been working on me hardcore, is he's been saying, don't kill relationship premature. Why do we do it? A lot of times we kill relationships because we're afraid of getting more hurt. We don't want to be vulnerable. It's self-protection. Oh yeah? Oh, is that how it's going to be? Okay, fine. Take your toys and leave. Do it. I don't care. Right? It's self-protection. We're pushing away people, and maybe it's people who are pushing us away, right? So we're like, hey, you want to push away? Push away. So in that moment of that pain that we're feeling, the hopelessness, first thing is, don't let it have the final word and don't put a tombstone on the relationship. Second thing is ask God to show you anew and afresh the vision of what he longs for in the relationship. Grab onto that. Hold fast to it. God, what are you saying? Okay, show me the joy set before me. I mean, good grief. Jesus is facing, his disciples are going to bail on him. They're all going to turn tail and run. They're going to deny him. Judas, who he loved, is going to turn him over to die. All the people that he's coming to give his life for, they're going to beat him. They're going to spit on him. They're going to mock him. Everybody's going to turn their back on him, right? He needed to see the joy set before him so that he could walk through the gap. And it's the same thing. I got to get a vision. I got to get a new renewed hope and vision for the future. And so then, come on, Christine. And so the next thing with that is I get this renewed hope, asking God, where am I powerful? Because I can't change them, right? That's called manipulation, domination, control, and it's akin to witchcraft. I can't. I mustn't. And maybe that's part of how I got to the hopelessness in the first place. I was trying to manipulate, dominate, and control. But I do have authority over certain things. What? I have the authority over my mind. I have the authority over my tongue. I have the authority over how I relate, right? I have the authority to keep myself from running and hiding. I have the authority to keep myself from dominating, manipulating, and controlling. I can control those things. God, show me where I have authority and power in this relationship to change, right? Because literally, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Unless I change something, then things begin to change. And so this is so important. Come on, Vernon. And so when we demand, we just say, God, I won't change the subject till you show me what I can change in me, change in how I do this relationship. I refuse to let hopelessness have the last word and put a tombstone. I get the renewed vision, renewed hope. And then the third piece is, where do I have authority and power? Listen, things will not stay the same if you and I begin to walk that out. We begin to change. Does that make sense? If we begin to partner with God with what he wants to do in the relationship, things will not stay the same. Now, here's the last thing. Do not demand certain outcomes. Because the reality is, when we actually are asking the relationship to go to the next level of health and wholeness and unity and all that, sometimes people go, I don't want it. That's hard. That's really, really hard. It's really, really hard. We face that time and time again leading a church. People are like, you know what? It's just not worth it. This is an uncomfortable place. People can see me and see my stuff, and you want us to show up and be real, and I'm just not into that, right? That's hard. That's hard when people say, I don't want to be real with you. I don't want to be honest. I don't want to be open. But let me just tell you, if that's what happens in the end, and I didn't manipulate, I didn't dominate, I didn't control the outcome, guess what? He will care for me and in the aftermath, and he has relationships. He has people in my life that he wants to connect me with, and he wants to restore. And so he wants to bring healing to. So I can't guarantee the outcome. But also, again, even if they respond poorly, I'm not putting a tombstone on that either. I'm not running. I'm standing in the place. So I don't know if this makes sense. Come on, Christine. That's awesome. That's great, Vernon. Well, listen, you guys, let's be this people. I'll say this last thing. I am seeing this everywhere. This is the word in season, not just for Arise, not just for us, but across the board. It's about unity. It's about showing up in community, in unity, in relationship. It's about that. And when God shows us, that's what he has for us, suddenly the disunity becomes super obvious and painful. And that we need to keep our hearts oriented for that, not just in the one-on-one relationship, but the larger relationships, to pursue unity at all costs. So hopefully that makes sense. Love you guys. Have an amazing Friday. We'll see you Sunday.